Hey everybody, it's Average Gatsby, and welcome to part 2 of Honnleath. I think that's how you pronounce it now. I'm changing the pronunciation from the first episode, so I don't know. We'll see. Let's get right into it. We've got one final room here of Darkspawn, but fortunately you can kind of do a similar setup as before. I zoom out right here just to show you exactly where I'm going to be placing everyone. I want Sten a little bit back in here because I don't want him to get hit by archers or anything. And then I place Liliana and Morrigan. Morrigan on the stairs, Liliana sort of back in an angle amongst the brewery. But basically they're going to have a full range of anything that comes around that corner. And then I use my own character to draw them back here. Fortunately, and right here you see it worked out really well for Sten using taunt immediately. Fortunately, that was effective, and it appears that I didn't put Sten on Indomitable. That's something that you've got to be aware of, especially when you're switching your characters from melee to archery and back again, like I was doing with Sten earlier. I have him continuing on hold position just because I really don't want him to walk around that corner and possibly aggro too many people and get too many archers. But fortunately, he's good enough right there that he just casts a taunt and catches this Hurlock. So I flipped him over to his ranged weapon, and now he's helping me out. And it's kind of silly that we're just fighting at this close range here using crossbows or whatnot, but I didn't want to get swarmed or anything. Now, I probably could have handled most of the people in this room, but, just didn't want to take that risk. Right here, I'm doing the same thing as before. Walking out, going to try to lead them back here. I have all my allies still on hold position at this point, and you can see on your radar, or your map up in the corner, where the enemy is. How this works, I'm not really sure, RP-wise, but, well, let's not think about things like that. So, switching over to ranged weapons now, and let them move, because I realized that I could actually get these units up in the top area without having to push very far in. And then Morrigan kind of leads the charge a little bit right here, but fortunately it appears that some of the enemies, unless you basically go up and hit them in the back, the ones attacking the magical barrier over there, they're not going to turn around and fight you until you get really close. So that's just something to keep in mind. I activate those 4, and then I'm sort of just running around here, causing a bit of a distraction, and fortunately Sten is right in the middle of my 2 ranged damage dealers, and so he's able to cast a near-perfect taunt and get everyone's attention. I take care of the mage back here because that's really the most dangerous enemy at that point. The mage, I don't know if the emissary had heal. I know other ones do, and I just want to prevent that from happening. So I went and talked to the villagers. I'm trying not to give away too many spoilers in this section, although there is a major spoiler coming up here pretty soon, so I will warn you about that. But I did want to leave it just to show you the different conversation options you can take. And I've got a full inventory at this point. So right here, you're going to get ambushed. That's just the way it is, but I find it's best if you concentrate on all the lesser shades. You can actually kill them in a single Sunder Arms, which is pretty nice. So it's basically 2 hits from your two-handed sword, or mace, or whatever you choose to be weapon at this point. And then we concentrate on the Dust Wraith. It's not really too difficult of an enemy. Sten is continuing to taunt. Morrigan's continuing to heal him when he needs it, but not really too difficult of an enemy. Don't really have too many strategies or anything that I can suggest. It would have been better at that point had I gone around the back and flanked with my character. I haven't really talked about that too much because there hasn't really been any major boss fights that I really wanted to concentrate on using that. Walking around here, you can pick up these crystals. Small crystals, they add damage to Shale, large crystals add defense. That's pretty much the only equipment that it can wear. Alright, here's the spoilers, by the way, if you want to tune out of this next section. But what I wanted to show right here is there's a couple different dialogue options that you can take depending on the kind of points you want to give to the people in your party. And I'll just tell you right now, anything that makes Morgan happy is going to make Liliana really unhappy, and vice versa. And so, to make sure that neither of them are very happy with me, or are going to stay happy with me, and I don't make anyone angry, I'm going to go with essentially the neutral route, and there are two ways to do this. One, you're going to see a persuade option come up here pretty soon. If you select the persuade and you fail, then it's actually considered a neutral response. You're attacked right away, and no one thinks more or less of you because of it. The other thing that you can do is offer to help, and this is what I'm going to do, offer to help, and then change my mind, which essentially creates the same situation as before, and that will also cause a neutral response from everyone. Now, neither of those will save the girl, but I'm kind of playing as not really the nicest warden here. I did that on my previous playthroughs, and being a little bit more of a badass this time. I'm not messing around. So you have to go through quite a bit of dialogue here, and I apologize that this is a little bit long, but it's kind of a cool scene. I mean, it's a creepy cat. Cats are... Right here, that persuade option that you can see right there, I'd fail it. You have to have at least 20 cunning and 2 in coercion at this point in order to successfully lie. But I definitely don't have that. Probably not going to have that. I may get up to that at some point, but I don't really need too many of the persuade options as of right now. So there's a puzzle in this room, and I was tempted to do the puzzle to show you how it works, but I really wanted that neutral response, and so I'm doing this. You're gonna die, cat. Oh no. No, she captures the girl. And then turns into a desire demon. Pretty much the the most ridiculously adorned enemy in the game right here. So, it's pretty easy to take out Kitty. You do have to be concerned about these rage demons and their flame blasts and whatnot, but Kitty, the demon, is really easy to take out. She can barely take any hits, and I believe she will continue to call up these rage demons until she dies. I'm not sure. I killed her so quickly, couldn't really test it to find that out. But I suggest you just have everyone concentrate on Kitty and finish her off. And right here, I'm making my way back. Sorry I cut out this first part. I didn't realize I was going to be ambushed here. If you look behind me, you'll see that my allies are also getting attacked, but Stan is helping them out. And, against these basic enemies, pretty much anyone in my party can hold their own, but especially the warden at this point can really hold his own. And the rest of this section, you'll be, ambushed by these lesser shades, but shades really are pretty weak enemies. At least these shades are pretty weak enemies. I found the Darkspawn to be much more challenging than the shades. One thing I want to note, this is kind of unrelated to the gameplay going on right now, but I have a guide to tanking on my blog that if you want to see how I'm going to turn Sten into a tank and basically the strategy I'm going to be using for tanking throughout this video series with all of my tanks, feel free to head on over there and check it out. I'll post the link in the description so you can go read up. I drew on a lot of other sources besides my own playing experience, and I have those cited in there so you can see where I'm getting my information. Another thing I wanted to talk about... by the way, I'm just telling this guy that his daughter's dead. Sorry, nothing I can do about it. Oh well. and he just hands it over. It doesn't matter at all the eventual outcome. You're gonna get Shale. So it's pretty easy to get out right here. You just walk over to these ladders, or this ladder. One other thing is, I originally was going to play this game without Shale because I was under the assumption that Shale was considered a really good character, and then I went reading on the forums and saw these complaints about Shale, that Shale is not a good character. I thought Shale was really good, but I guess some people have a problem with her. So if you want to see me use more Shale, let me know, and I'll use her more often. If not, I won't use her. Either way, up to you. I can, show you how it can work and how it cannot work. Anyway, I'm Average Gatsby. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me any feedback you like, and see you around.